Howdy. Welcome to episode 5 of Sammy Legend's James Bond Show. I am Sammy Legend, and I know a lot of people have given their opinions on their own ideal Bond 26, who the next Bond should be, this, that, and the other thing. I figured I would give my opinion on who I think would be great in multiple roles in the next movie. I think that if in an ideal world, if this all these people came together to make this movie, I think it would be quite spectacular. I think that I put together a list of good talent to make the next movie if it were to happen again. If any of these people are going to be involved in it, who knows? But one can dream, right? But just like everyone else, their James Bond, their ideal James Bond, I would say most people probably lean towards Henry Cavill, as do I. I think he pulls off and portrays a very Bond-like character in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think that's probably most people's go-to for why they think he should play it. But yeah, he's tall, handsome. And at least in that movie, he's got great spy attributes. I think he would be an insanely good James Bond. I think at this point he's a little too old, especially with the producers having said that they want to go with a Bond in their early to mid 30s, I believe they said, and he's I think he's 39 now, and by the time they hired him and actually start filming and all that, he'll be in his early 40s, and they want to get at least a decade out of the next Bond, so that'd be pushing it. I don't know if Henry Cavill is going to be it, but to me, I think he would be an insanely great James Bond. For director, I think the last 2 times they have done Martin Campbell for the new Bond. He came in for GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan, and he did Casino Royale with Daniel Craig. Both of those movies are outstanding. I love them both. I think that he's getting a little up there in age, though. I think he's 80 or 81 now, and especially, if it's a couple years before they start filming, he'd be almost mid-80s, so I'm not sure. But again, in an ideal world, I think I would choose Martin Campbell, because that's the formula they've done twice before now, and it worked both times. The next person kind of goes along with Martin Campbell is the cinematographer. Martin Campbell for both GoldenEye and Casino Royale, and many other Martin Campbell movies that he's done, like A Vertical Limit too. I think he's done with this guy, but Phil Mayhew, he's been with him. I'm not saying he did a bad job, but my ideal cinematographer would be the one from No Time to Die, Linus Sandgren. I love the way No Time to Die looks. The shot, the cinematography is so great. All the shots they use, it captures not only the actors and the scenes that they're portraying, but the environments around them. The wide, the environmental shots are incredible. And like in Italy in the beginning, when they're coming through the tunnel in the Aston Martin and it opens up and you just see the town, it's so cool. There's so many. I love the way No Time to Die was shot. That's one of my redeeming factors for it. Is the way it was shot. But I would choose Linus Sandgren for cinematographer instead of Phil Mayhew, even though he tends to work with Martin Campbell. For music, honestly, I would choose David Arnold. I think we should go back to David Arnold. He was great in every movie he did. Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, Die Another Day, and Casino Royale. I really think that he should come back. Not that Thomas Newman or anyone else was bad, but I loved his music scores. They were great music in those movies. I wish that he would come back. For the writers, honestly, we've had Neil Purvis and Robert Wade since The World Is Not Enough. So it's been, as of the filming of this, it's the end of 2022, and that was The World Is Not Enough was 99. So that's 23 years of the same writers. To quote Bond from Skyfall, I think they're played out. Um, I'm not saying they're horrible, but I think getting some new blood in there might freshen up the franchise a little bit and not make it so stale. Because I mean, in the last couple movies, they've had other people come in and tweak the script at the end, like in No Time to Die. They had Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but I think that they should move on and they should get some new writers going forward. Um, for the Bond girl, I only have one honestly, and I hadn't thought about this until like this past week. But I saw this on an article online this week saying that Haley Atwell should be the Bond girl, and kind of I agree with that. After hearing that, I really can't imagine anyone else. I think she would be. She's British too, so I think she'd be a great Bond girl. That would be so cool to see her as a Bond girl. For villain, I think I heard a while back that Idris Elba was possibly going to be. He wasn't going to be the Bond, but he was going to be cast in the villain role. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. But he was a bad guy in The Losers that I know of. I haven't seen him in a whole lot of stuff, but I do. I have seen him in that, and I own that movie. And he's a pretty decent bad guy, I guess. He's kind of like an Alec Trevelyan in that one. But I think Idris Elba would be a pretty good bad guy. Even though he's retiring from acting, at least he said he was. I think Gary Oldman would be great. He's mostly known for being a villain anyway. I think that he would just be he would hit that ball out of the park, and he would probably honestly be the star of the show more than anyone. He's such a good actor. And then my final choice would be Willem Dafoe. I mean, most James Bond villains have some sort of quirk or physical attribute that's different. And I mean, with Willem Dafoe, I mean, that laugh and that, like, from Spider-Man, and his smile, like, you don't even need to do anything else. He can just be himself, and he's so good as a villain. He's so creepy, and he's so good at it. And he was also part of the Bond franchise in the past, because he was the bad guy, go figure, in the video game Everything or Nothing from 2004. So I think that would be kind of a cool circle back, and go back to like have him from the video games and come in and be a villain in the movies. I think that would be really, really cool. Just a cool Easter egg, I guess. For the costume designer, I'm going to stick with No Time to Die. Sudarat and Lalarbe, I believe that's how you say it, Sudarat. I think she would be insane for the next one. They should keep her. I loved the clothing in No Time to Die. Everything that he wears is top notch. Especially my personal favorites are the beginning and the end. I love the tactical James Bond at the end, and I love that like suede or micro suede tan suit with the like light blue shirt that he wears underneath in the beginning in Italy. Man, that looks good. And everything else in between. I love the costumes that he and anyone else in the movie wears. It's so good. I really hope that they would bring her back. That'd be so cool. And then I guess they could just fill everyone else out from there. I don't need to go down the list all the way to like catering and stuff like that. But honestly, I think that if they got all those people, I think that would be quite a good time for the next movie, which is what I think a lot of us are leaning towards. Not that the Daniel Craig movies didn't have their fun moments, but they were quite, angsty and moody, I guess, and emotional. And I think that doesn't need to go away completely, but I think we kind of need to go back a little bit to the more fun aspect. Not necessarily Moonraker or Die Another Day. Not that there's anything wrong with either of those movies. I do like them both. But we need to go back and throw in more fun aspects of James Bond. And I think that would be an ideal Bond 26 concoction, and would draw in, I would think, quite a few people, especially if they were in the know on the list of these people that would be working on this movie. But that's my list. If you have any ideas on any of those positions, people to fill those positions, just go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and maybe we can get a conversation started, and we'll see. Maybe other people can get their opinions out there, and who knows, maybe we'll spark a good conversation. But either way, this was episode 5 now of Sammy Legend's James Bond Show. I am Sammy Legend, and I'll see y'all next time. Shaken, not stirred.